Boom. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Yeah. Oh yeah, what are we doing today? Boom. Oh yeah, Logic Pro 1 year later. Have you been using it? Did you buy the subscription? Have you resubscribed? What have you made with it? We're going to ask you all those questions today and a little bit more. Let's get ready, Oj. Yeah, welcome to the show. My name's Jade. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome. It's, wow, what a more relaxing time it feels like on the channel these days for me. Is everybody doing well out there? This is How to App on iOS. And yes, we're going to be talking about this today. Yes, 1 year later, Logic, it's been out for a little while now. It's a bit over a year. Some people have spent money on it. Some people haven't spent money on it. A lot of people have cried about it. A lot of people have said it's cool. Everybody has all these differing opinions, but the most important thing about, anything that you make music with or create things with, are you fucking using it? There's no point getting into these things if you're not using it and doing things with it, leaving it on the shelf, right? That's like going grocery shopping. Nobody wants to do that with inflation right now and going to buy a carton of eggs that cost you $23 and just letting them go off. Why would you do it? You wouldn't do it. You just wouldn't do it, would you? So why would you purchase a subscription to Logic and then not make any music with it? It's a silly thing, but we'll talk about that today. Let's say hello to folks in the chat. We've got Audible videos come to haunt me. Mateusz Brokowski, Hugh Caldwell, Thomas Christ is here. Slinging links, Ed Zielinski popping out the videos as he does yesterday with Core Gadget. If you want to get some really helpful tips on Core Gadget, he made a spreadsheet. Like that's dedication. I'm watching that yesterday, Ed, just going, dude, a spreadsheet? I love it. No, but that's the stuff, man. Ed is dedicated. He wants you to understand how to use stuff like all those fantabulous instruments you get within Core Gadget, and it is a pain in the ass. If anybody's used Core Gadget, they have all these wonderful gadgets in there, and then they made them AUV3, and you're like, all right, that's cool. What are these? They've all just got names. I don't know what's inside them. They do make it incredibly hard to utilize those gadgets. Taish, Cold Ache is in the house. There's Lele. Lele's here. Great show. Thanks for kicking everybody over here. So, Hugh Caldwell. Did I say hi to Hugh? I think I did. Hugh Caldwell. Lele is in the house. We got Brad Example listening along, and I know Dave, Ivan Idea is listening as well, and I want to get his opinion as well. There's Ed Zielinski's Core Gadget video, if you haven't seen it. And did you catch up with my first pre-recorded tutorial? So as I mentioned at the start of this week, the channel's changed a little bit. Now, daily on these shows, I can come up here and have a topic or make some music or talk about a particular thing like compression. And I'm trying to move the majority of tutorials over to pre-records. And last night my time, at midnight was the first drop of our first pre-recorded tutorial. Did you get a chance to see it, folks? It was for this. I know it's not a brand new app or anything like this. Decent sampler. It's been out for a long, long time. But you know what? It is one of those apps that I just forget about. And then I open it up and go, wow, there's a whole lot of good stuff in here for absolutely free. It's ridiculous. So if you didn't get a chance, go over, have a look at it. It's not going to take too much time. It's not like watching one of these live streams. It's about 13 minutes of your life, yeah? And there's another one dropping again at the same time, same bat channel. There'll probably be a tutorial drop at the same time now. You want to know what the next one is? You want me to give you a little heads up? I can do that for you if you really want to know. It's all done. It's all waiting to drop. And that is Audio Modern's brand new Unveil expansion pack. So that is up, ready to go, waiting to drop midnight here in Australia. I think it's 10 a.m. New York, 7 a.m. LA, and 3 p.m. UK, these things will drop. Sometimes it might be a little bit different. Sometimes it might be a premiere and we'll hang out in the chat, but most of the time they'll just drop. And again, this one's 12 or 13 minutes. Not too long, straight to the point. I know a lot of people have been wanting me to shut the hell up and get to the point. Thanks, Thomas, for banging a link in there. So if you haven't seen it, please head over, give it a like, do it a thing, and all that magical stuff. You may learn something new that you didn't know about these apps. I can tell you too. So there's a whole bunch of things that are going to drop. So I think also this week I've got recorded the new audio thing app that dropped with Hindbark. Brand new audio thing app dropped as well. What's that thing all about? Audio thing. It's the Moon. The Moon Echo. So here it is here. We'll be looking at this one. I've done a pre-record for this. Moon Echo. And Hindbark's dropped a really cool video on it. And there's one on Audio Things channel as well. So basically it simulates the repeating sound of you sending a message to the moon, and it comes back and all of the frequencies get scrambled because of the distance, and it doesn't understand musical notes and stuff. So you get some really interesting, crazy effects back. So, but that'll be a pre-recorded video as well, and that should be up, I don't know, in a day. So awesome. And this thing is free. Yeah. So go and get it now. It's absolutely $0. Pretty damn cool. $0. Audible video says lovely sounds. Yes, it is nice. It's a nice app and it's free. Can't complain about free, can ya? Ivan Ideas in the house. What's going on? Good to see you. Brad says, I'm still going to renew my Logic subscription even though I haven't used it yet. I'm going to eventually. I just need more tutorial videos. Oh, God. Brad. What are we going to do with you, Brad? We just finished this conversation 5 minutes ago, and he still writes it. I just need more tutorial videos. Listen. You don't need more tutorial videos. What you need to do is just start using it. Good God, man. Oh, my Lord. My Lord. Hello, Pascal. Yeah, it's a really cool app. All right, well, let's cut through the shit because, you know, that's what we're here to do. We're here to talk about Logic, and that's what we do here on the channel these days. Is it's more of a discussive, making music kind of thing now, live streams each day. So Logic Pro for iPad. And I saw Cold Acres smart-ass comment up the top there. Don't you mean Logic, where is it? Don't you mean Logic Pro for iPad 2? Yeah, what was up with that naming? I mean, it's really strange naming Apple lately. I think with all of their stuff, their devices, and they're just... Yeah, there's been some really odd choices for the naming of their stuff. And that whole thing of Logic Pro for iPad 2, it was super, super strange. It confused so many people. I remember when I put the video up, people saying, what? Now is Logic Pro available on the iPad 2? And I was just thinking, what? There are still people out there with an iPad 2? Shit. That must be bad. But very, very confusing naming and stuff. Anyway. Okay, so let's just do a bit of history before we talk about the actual release and stuff. And I want to find out what you've been doing with Logic as well, you know, because it has been a year. Now, when I got into iOS creating music, the first app I was using was called, oh, you gotta love this one. Do I still have it on here? Oh, it's still on here. Does anybody remember this? Music Studio. Does anybody remember this? Music Studio. Fucking hell. Oh, this thing is, what a demon. Does it have sound? Listen to those guitars. Music Studio. Look at this thing. So you had all these sounds in here. It still works, man. It still works. You got a koto. There's a whole lot of instruments in here. Heaps of really cool instruments, and a lot of these instruments I used on some DreadCircus music. So you had all these instruments. You got symphonic stuff, classical, band, blah, 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 all this kind of stuff. You've got tracks in here. I wonder what is this? Are these all muted? There you go. I've still got stuff in here. This thing is old as fuck. But you got effects. You couldn't use AUV3s in here. You can use inter-app audio. So here's like a whole bunch of projects in here. So you can see I used to use this thing a hell of a lot. Yeah. There's a whole bunch of MIDI things in here. Rick Astley. Look, Rick Astley MIDI. This is where I made the accordion for the cover I did with Pete Johns and Smoke, because the accordion sound in here is surprisingly really, really good. If you go up here, let's try and find the accordion. I know we'll get to Logic. There's a reason we're talking. There's the accordion. It was pretty good for the time. Pretty damn good. But this is what we had. This was the thing in the day, yeah? So you get your setup here and all this shit. And that's what I started making music with on iOS when I decided way back when. It was like, I'm going to get rid of my PC. I'm just going to make music on iOS. It was about 2010. I threw away my desktop, was like, no, everything's going to be on iOS now. And then not long after I started using Music Studio, GarageBand came out, and it was like, hey, this is pretty cool. Even though I used to use a bounce between Music Studio and GarageBand, because GarageBand, I don't know, like it was great for auto instruments and stuff, but I just found some of the sounds of the instruments in Music Studio better. And as time went on, you know, GarageBand got very long in the tooth for me very quickly, because it just didn't have all the functionality that I wanted, and I wanted more because I was used to using things like Logic before it moved over to Mac. When it was back on PC, Logic 5.5 was the last one before it got sold, and I'd used you know, other DAWs on PCs and used recording studios, so GarageBand got a bit tired, and that's okay. That's not saying that it's crap. So trust me on that. I will never say the GarageBand is crap, because it's perfect for many, many people. Just because you grow out of something doesn't mean that it's shit, you know. Just because you don't like country and western music doesn't mean country and western music sucks. It just means you don't like it. Let other people enjoy it for what it is. But the whole discussion around Logic was a thing. And I don't know if for the longest time if it was just FOMO, because that's a thing, isn't it? Yeah? Cold Acre says, it's amazing Music Studio Lite app still works on ancient iPhones. Yeah. And, you know, and it's probably, if you're using Android and you want to make music, Music Studio works on Android as well too. Yeah. So consider that before you go and download anything brand new. It actually works really well on Android. It's a little bit slow because Android's, you know, is what it is. But with Logic, right, I don't know, for the longest time, it was just FOMO, fear of missing out. And I was just like, but I got to have Logic. I got to have Logic. I got to have Logic. And it became a meme on all of these channels too, you know, where everybody was waiting for Logic, and hoping it was going to come. And the jokes were it's never going to come. And then people, you know, it was a long-standing thing. It had been on Mac for a really long time. And, yeah, it finally dropped. And you know what? I didn't really care. I just was happy to have something that was more complex than GarageBand and in a familiar state. There was no way Apple were going to release a one-to-one version of Logic. It was just not going to happen. And if you believe that, then you're a fool. It was never going to happen. So, you can call it GarageBand on steroids. Fine. Like, whatever. But it's so much better than GarageBand. So many more options. And, I'd gone through all of them. Man, I'd gone through all of them. This thing here, which now I can't even load projects anymore without it just crashing. It says Aurea Pro. Does this work? Oh, it's actually working. Oh, see that? Crash. Aurea Pro. Yay. All that money I wasted on Aurea Pro. Hundreds and hundreds of dollars on the in-app purchases. And look at it. I can't even open a project now. Crash. Shit. Really super disappointing stuff like that. Yeah? But it's weird because it works on my other iPad Pro. It just doesn't work on this one. Go figure. And, the developer of Aurea just fully abandoned it. I mean, this is one of the biggest problems with iOS 2 is when a new DAW does come out and everybody gets excited about it, you don't know if it's going to stay around because how can they compete with Apple or with Steinberg, with Cubase's? How can they compete? And I've tried to cover a bunch of them here on the channel, the other DAWs that have come out. So, but they get overshadowed because, I think Logic just makes it easier because it's tied into the software, the flows, similar. I mean, years of GarageBand and people using GarageBand and wanting more. So has led people to stay with GarageBand for a long time and then just exhaust every possible way to make music with GarageBand. So when Logic came out, it was like, oh my God, I'm able to make a whole lot of stuff in a very similar space to GarageBand. So it dropped and it had a subscription and everybody was really angry. Do you remember? Do you remember those days? What was it, a year ago? Everybody was super angry. People were like, I'm never going to buy it. I'm never going to use it. That's the end. And is there an argument to that? Absolutely. There absolutely is an argument to complaining about a subscription because there's so many of them. I get it. You're never going to hear me say that subscriptions are an amazing thing. We're all tied to them. Our whole lives are tied to these subscriptions, and we sit there going, should I let go of this one so I can afford this one? Will I go back and need this one next month that I'm not really using but I'm subscribed to? It's a thing. There are so many of them. But the thing is that I tried to say when Logic dropped here is, well, the thing is, if you're going to subscribe, use it. Use it. There's no point complaining about it. Download it and use it. Right? You know what? Not every app's going to have every feature you want because, you're not that fucking special. Let's be truthful. Who the hell am I? Who the hell are you? Really? It makes me funny. It makes me laugh when I see something come out and people go, oh, yeah, but I really want this. And it's like, yeah, but I want world peace too, but it's not happening, is it? Like, I'd really like a gigantic cheesecake to land in my hands right now so I could mung on it for the next hour, but that's not happening, is it? So I'll just continue on without that cheesecake and make the best of what I can. And, Apple tried to do their best with it with the subscription. They offered you, a whole month. A whole month to dick around with it. And if you didn't like it, you didn't like it. Big deal. You didn't like it. Go back to what you were doing. Go back to the other thing that you were complaining about. That's the irony, isn't it? People go, oh, God, I'm going to try this thing out. And then they try it out and complain about it. And then they go, all right, I'm leaving. I'm going back to the other thing that I hate, that I have a trail of internet posts saying how much I hate this other thing. But I'm going back to it because I hate it less than I hate this thing. Whew, very funny. After going through all the Logic lessons, watching Jade and Pete, I really started to get it. And now I'm really into it. And here's the thing too. This is the thing we try and get through to Brad. Right, so our friend Brad here on the channel, he's been using GarageBand for a long time. Brad has been making music for years. He's a real musician. He's been touring. He's toured around everywhere. Like, he's done it. He's had sex with sluts in toilets and caught every disease. No. He's lived the rock and roll lifestyle is what I'm trying to say to you. And he knows how to record music. But for some reason, since Logic has dropped, he is constantly, it's like he's overwhelmed by this thing going, I just can't understand it. I've watched all these tutorials, and it's not that at all. It's that he's not allowing himself to just record the way he normally would. It's no different than anything else. It's still an audio track. It's still a MIDI track. There's no difference. You can open these things up in GarageBand and then open it up. I think the real problem is Brad doesn't have the space at the moment and the privacy to record. That's the problem. It's not that he doesn't know how to use it. You know, we can talk ourselves sometimes into believing that we can't do something just by repeatedly saying, I can't do it, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this. And it's like, well, you can. Just shut up. Stop telling your brain you can't do it. And that's the thing with Logic. You know, I could have sat here and done a million tutorials on it, but Pete had all of that covered. The thing is with Logic ultimately is you don't need to use all the stuff in it. I'm telling you, right? I see so many posts of people using it and going, yeah, but it doesn't have this. It's like, yeah, but what about the things it does have? Like, how many of the things that it does have you not used? Like, really, it does make me laugh, some of the things that people are like, yeah, but it doesn't have this infinitesimal thing that will only appeal to a very small percentage of people. I mean, these are the same kind of people who go, trans people shouldn't have any rights, and they make up 0.01% of the population, and they matter so much. Like, this is the same kind of logic, you know? I'm so angry it doesn't have this thing that nobody else gives a shit about. Just make some fucking music. So it comes out, it's very divisive. People are excited about it at first. People are upset about the subscription. But the question is, have you been making music with it? And I'm putting that out there to you here in the audience, those who are here today. Have you made music with it? Have you released songs with it? What are they? Tell me. I'm going to go find them. Put it in the chat. Have you released a song? And let me know if am I going to get a claim for it? Please let me know. Don't give me a song that I'm going to get a content ID claim for, or I'll come after you. But tell me. Give me the name of your song and your band in the chat. Even if you're watching on the replay, let us know. Put it in the comments afterwards. Have you released music with it? If you've had it for a year, you've just come around and recently been charged your $40 or whatever it is. Mine was $59, and it's like it hurt because I think I have Final Cut Pro, and I've hardly used that for the year. So I was at like $120. Bang, in one day gone. It's like, ouch, really? That sucks. Cat and Mouse, says Leela. See, Leela's released music with it. Cat and Mouse, Rise of Dark Leela. This is the thing. Have you made music with it? Leela's made music with it. Apparently.
Interacts without intent, wishes neither good nor ill, never asks or seeks repentance, her friend aid or
So there's no point if you haven't been making music with it. You know what I'm saying? You can sit there and spend all this time complaining about what Logic doesn't have. Oh, it doesn't have this and it doesn't do this right. And it's like, yeah, but what have you made with it? You've spent $50. Imagine spending $50 for the whole year and all you've got for it is a whole bunch of comments on Facebook going, but it doesn't have this. Could you imagine that? $50 to sit there and talk that kind of nonsense. It baffles me. Hey, what's going on, Pete Johns? You doing well? Pete, you would know about this kind of thing. Now, I know there's somebody else here who's in the chat who's made some music with it. Where is he? It's this dude here, Mateus. Mateus. Why can't I spell his name today? Jesus Christ. Mateus Prakowski. This guy's made music with Logic because he sent it in to me and I have done mastering for his music. And I got to sing on one of the songs with him. He did this one. Yeah. So he released this and I got to do vocals for it. Let's have a listen. So, yeah, the big question is, what are you doing with it? That is ultimately what I'm here to ask today because, you know, that is, are you getting your money's worth? Because I'm sure many of you may have got hit with the money. The second payment. I know this guy's made some music with it. Let's see. This guy has made some music with it as well too. Let's play a bit of his music. Look at this guy, Pete Johns. He's made a bunch of music using Logic. And the interesting thing is, yeah, there's Pete talking about the time changes because now if you're a fan of Pete Johns' channel and you watch, he's been doing GarageBand videos for ages and got so many workarounds back in the day to try and do multiple time signatures throughout the songs. And, hey, there were ways you could do it. They sucked. Like, they were complicated and they made you use your brain a lot because that's what iOS does, yeah? But to be able to go in now and use Logic and do all these multiple time changes made my job harder as the drummer. To me, again, worth the subscription, absolutely, to have the power to go and do that kind of stuff. It's just rad, yeah? So, look, I know I've got my money's worth, and I was looking through my project folder last night. Here it is. Compared to my GarageBand project folder, which has a lot of rubbish in it that isn't finished, this is pretty small. It's fascinating because, sure, I've got 197 items in here. A lot of the items in here are actually projects that I've had to do for the show. Like if I open up this one, this is a scalar demo because that's what I do on the show. I do demos. And I love this. So we'll just give a clickety-click. We're all good. We're all good. Hit play. Oh. Why have I not used this for anything? So this was from my Scalar 2.9 demo. Wicked. But, you know, I've had the opportunity to do a whole bunch of things in here. Have I released songs? I absolutely have. It feels like I haven't released a lot of songs. I did FMC, The Awful Taste. I released The Fight. I think I released Utensils. I did the whole Utensils DreadCircus song. Where's that? Is it somewhere in here? Let's do a search for it. DreadCircus. In this folder. What do you know? It's not showing up because, of course, it's not. Why would it show up in here? Because the search features in... Look at these search features. They're just crap. They don't work, man. They never work. Hi, Heather. What's going on? Is it in here? Is the song even in here? Who knows? DreadCircus, Utensils. Have I even named it? I don't even know. When did I release it? Was it last year? Yeah, it was last year sometime. So I probably haven't opened it since then. Utensils, Symphony, is that it? Is that it there? I don't know. This is probably it. No. This is the beginning of it. No, this is something else. Man, the one thing I really wish they would fix is the search in files. It's really crap. It's dog shit. I search for things sometimes in while I'm looking in Audio Share in the Files app and type the full name of the song and it can't find it. I don't understand. I don't get it at all. So yeah, I can't actually search it right now. So there's The Fight. I know I did the DreadCircus song in here. Is it in a folder? Was it the Songtember song? Yes, it was Songtember song. Here we go. Utensil song. So I'm gathering it's this one. So yeah, this is made here. Now, did you see that bug? Oh, we'll talk about this bug. And look at this. I don't know why I'm getting a lot of this. It's because Rhino. If you don't know, Rhino has, if you use Rhino, it got an update and guess what? It broke AUV3. So it hasn't been working. Nice stuff. So maybe let's do that while we're here. Let's see. I'm sure they updated it today. They fixed the problem. Rhino, guitar amp sim. here it is. They updated it. So anyone who was using Rhino, it totally botched it. So let's see if it's going to fix my Logic Pro thing. I should probably close it and start again. Rhino is not available on your iPad. Of course it's not, but it is. Awesome. Love it. We'll try again. Apparently it's not available on my iPad. So this version is totally screwed because of course it is. We love it. So where is that guitar track? Probably all my guitar tracks have Rhino on it. I would assume. No, Ian Hardball, Rhino, not available. Love it. Fucking hell. Wicked. Love it. Good job. Good job. You had one job. Let's just play a bit of this. So the thing is with this song, I would never have been able to make this using GarageBand because look how complicated this song is. There's so much stuff going on in here. Look at all the vocals, for God's sake. Let's unmute all these vocals. Look at all the vocals. Jesus Christ, there's a lot of vocals in here. So yeah, I definitely got my use out of Logic with the subscription just to make this song because, yeah, I definitely wouldn't have been able to make this using GarageBand with the amount of timing changes that I have throughout this entire song. So yeah, have I got my money's worth? But let's go back. Did you see what happened? When I opened this song, it opened the song, but look what it did. Is anybody else experiencing this with Logic at the moment? It creates a dummy track here. This man, it's very frustrating. Let's go to our list view and see what it's called. Utensils Song 22, 4th of February, Jade's Mac Mini. Why is it creating that? Every song I open at the moment, and then I have to go in here and delete it. And then that means I have to go into the Files app, into the actual Files app, and remove it from the deleted section because, of course, you have to because it just saves every single thing that you delete. Is anyone else experiencing that problem with Logic at the moment? Nearly every project I open, that's what happens. So that's something that's pissing me off. Yeah. Rhino works for me now. My Logic did not see it since it was released. Yeah, the same thing. So they released an update a week ago. It totally broke AUV3, and now today it's been fixed. So that's a good thing. Hi, bloody Ritual. I hope you're doing well. So anyway, let's run an ad. I've forgotten. We're only got a little bit to go. Only got 20 minutes of me ranting here and talking away about Logic. Do you feel, sound off in the chat while you're here? Did you get value? Have you resubscribed? Did you cancel your subscription? Did you never subscribe? Let us know. Tell us your thoughts, feelings. What would you like to see improved? What do you hate? What do you love? Is the experience good? Throw it at me and I'll put your comments up there. Where are we? Let's run this ad. Every day we run an ad and boom, you can avoid it. Or you can, by becoming a YouTube Premium subscriber, or by skipping the ad, and we'll wait for you to come back tomorrow on the show because things have changed. Yes, things have changed here. We're getting back to working on music. And tomorrow I'm going to continue working on this crazy Utensils album concept I started back in April, I think it was, and did 2 episodes and then just got so busy with tutorials. haven't had time to make music. So now I have more time to make music. And we're going to continue on. If you don't know about this album here that I'm working on, it's one song, one piano track, and it's 6 iterations of the same track. And as the album goes on, each version of the song gets more distorted and fucked up and becomes more unlistenable and crazy and broken. So by the end, it's a complete shattered mess and sounds badly like the original song, which is trying to emulate somebody having a breakdown, somebody losing their mind kind of thing. That's what that project is about. If they would just ditch the bizarre file saving approach the normal way with the save button, yeah, look, that's something that is really annoying with GarageBand and Logic. I mean, I think many of us have been in that situation where you've got, let's talk about it. We've got a project open, just say this one like this. Yeah, so we're all sitting here. Man, this Rhino thing's annoying me. So you're sitting here like this. You open up, you go in here and go, yes, let's open up our effects or whatever. Maybe one that's not frozen. Like this. You click on the effect and you have it up here and you've got it full screen. And who's done this? And you go to hit this, but you hit this. And you close the entire project. It is so annoying, man. I can't tell you how many times I've done it. It is really super annoying. I wish they would fix that. A normal save button would be absolutely brilliant. See, this is the thing. People seem to be so upset about stuff that they're not going to use ever. But like a simple save button, it seems like a no-brainer to me. That why aren't more people like fully like pitchforks going, give me a save button? I don't understand it. But no, it's like, I want this tiny little thing that nobody uses. Instead, it's kind of ridiculous, you know. I was on a monthly subscription for a couple of months, but once I saw it works for me, I switched yearly. No regrets. Me too. Yeah, it's Patrick Bed, $5 a month, the best door on iPad, disgraceful, no MIDI learn. It's an absolute deal breaker. A save would be nice. See, but this, I can understand complaining about something like this right here. I can understand it, right? A save button, just, that makes sense, okay? If I saw somebody getting upset about that in a Facebook forum, I'd go, you know what? Yes, I agree. But the other things kind of make me scratch my head, especially when, let's cut through the shit, shall we? Hello, Patrick. Let's cut through the shit. How many times, just between you and me, right? How many times? That's a bit close. There we go, a bit closer. How many times have you seen somebody complain about something like it doesn't have this really obscure feature, and then you go look at their Facebook page or their YouTube channel and they've got no music? Every time. But it is true. It's true. The people who complain the most don't have anything to show for it. It's like, it can't be that bad. Where's your fucking music? Like, just release anything. You know what I'm saying? Here's the deal. Look, they came back, and Pete mentioned this on his channel too. It's very fascinating the way that they have been doing the updates for it. Sure, people thought, oh, well, you know, I'm paying a subscription, so it's bound to get heaps of updates and constantly get updated. Well, if you've been an Apple user for, I don't know, longer than 10 minutes, you should know that's not the case with Apple. They like to drag their feet. It's a thing. They drag their feet. And for the most part, there's a reason for that, because, you know, you can be first out of the blocks, but that doesn't mean it's the best. Look at Samsung, right? How many iterations of phones have they released with like promises of amazing camera technology and all these amazing things their camera software does, and then nobody fucking uses any of the crap that comes with it. Why? Because they try and throw everything at the wall and see what sticks, and it doesn't work. And Apple are always going to drag their feet, you know. So in saying that, I think people thought there was going to be like heaps and heaps of updates, but obviously not. Because this is the thing I think a lot of people miss too. You may think that it's Apple, so they have a huge team working on Logic. I think I'm overstating here. If there's more than 10 people who are working on the iOS Logic Pro at Apple, I think that's been really generous. That's probably like 70% more than what the people actually are that work. Did you know Cubasis is pretty much a one-man team? A lot of these doors and stuff that you think from these big companies, just because, like Yamaha owns Steinberg, just because you think, oh, wow, it's a big company, there's not all these big teams. iOS is so small on the scale of things. It's a bit of an afterthought. Do you wonder why? Maybe they look at the forums and see everybody complaining all the time and go, is it really worth doing this? Have you seen the things people say for a $2 app? It's true. Yeah, it's one guy in a basement. One guy in a basement shit posting on Reddit in his spare time. No, but that's the thing. For all the money in the world that they have, that money is going into R&D, developing new phones and technologies and battery stuff and all that shit. Logic Pro is such a small thing on the scale, even though, Apple's always been a thing for creative types and all that kind of stuff. It is rather small. So the updates have been slow and not very big, but then obviously they dropped a huge one just before we all had to pay our year subscription, which... Can you fault that? It's business. You know what I mean? It's business. Like, you want people to continue using it. You drop stuff. And all this stuff that they dropped was, like, really good. And the whole internet was buzzing about it. And if you're still not blown away by the stem splitting and the piano player and the drummer and bass, I don't know what to tell you. It's... there are people bugging out of their brains over AI music going, wow, look what it does. And every song it creates is dog shit. But the stuff in Logic is really incredible. So there's that. I am really happy that I have continued my subscription. I'm super, super excited about what's to come. I'm really glad. Here's what I'm super happy about, that they just didn't dump a whole bunch of EDM packs. I really like the way they've decided that GarageBand is here and it just gets updates so it works and it gets these packs. And Logic's over here and it gets updates that are, really cool and interesting. But whatever comes out on the GarageBand packs, the EDM packs, you'll get them on Logic as well. I like that. That's really cool. Because if it just had have been like... Logic getting another fucking 808 for a year, I would have been pissed off. Then I would have had pitchforks out going, you know what? I don't need another 808. Pete says if they give us a full version update each year, I'll keep paying. That's what subscriptions should do. Yes, continuous values, things that make you come back. We're due for a short... Yeah, I think we are due for a new 808 pack. Surely. 808 player. I'll tell you what, I still believe that they're going to release a symphonic strings player, auto AI player. I think they're going to do a guitar one. It's like they've set the framework for it. It's just a no-brainer. Like you've already released the things, the main structure to be able to do these things. So I think that's coming. The sculpture synth in iPad could use a redesign. It's a beast, but too many screens. Yeah, look, I think over time things will get refined and changed. And remember when iOS, everything was skeuomorphic? Remember those good old days? And then when it changed and everybody was like, what? It doesn't look like a notepad anymore. And it was like, yeah, thank God. You know what? It was nice for when you first got your first iPhone, it was like, wow, it's like a real notepad. And then after a while, it's like, yeah, it's not real. It's not really practical, though, is it? I just want to write notes, you know. Just want to write notes. Yeah, look, I think Logic just should release its own version, a special edition 808s only, where every instrument is an 808. What do you think? The 808 and even everything's it's just you can have 100 tracks of 808s. I think that'd be cool. I'd be down for that. Not really. TV shows are so easily dated when you see those skeuomorphic icons. Yeah, absolutely. Look, I think I love Logic. There are a few things it doesn't do that I wish it did. Yeah, but do you know what? Most of the time, it's actually not Logic's problem. There's been some apps I've reviewed here on the show that it's the app that hasn't adapted to Logic. Remember, there's still a lot of apps dropping from iOS developers that are only now getting significant updates to work in Logic. And why is it? And you're probably sitting there going, well, why aren't these developers busting their ass to get this stuff out? Well, guess what? Here's the problem. Oh, we're going to go on another tangent here before we close the show. A lot of our iOS developers don't make a lot of money. I know, right? Because they sell their apps so cheap and so many people get upset that they're not cheaper, that a lot of our iOS developers are actually going under because they don't have the manpower to keep everything updated enough to work with Logic and with all the consistent updates that Apple do to their iOS. So they're only now, some of them are just catching up. I know, so Drum Computer and a whole bunch of those apps just got updated for Logic only like last week. So they're still catching up. Look at Rhino. Rhino finally got an update. What's it been, a year? And Rhino got an update to work with Logic. It was having troubles ever since Logic came out. And it's taken a year, and even that update, it screwed up the AEV3. But hopefully that's all fixed now. So it's not always Logic that's the problem. It's a lot of times the apps aren't compatible because the app developers don't have the money or the manpower to keep up. Which is more a reflection on us, isn't it? Of being demanding on all these things that we demand these people to do while they can barely put food on the table. Yeah, hey, Falcro, good to see you. And I saw someone else come in and I've missed you. Cagnan Wildrum, isn't it? I'm an Aussie. I'm terrible at names. Wildirum, there we go. Hello. All right, I think we've had a bit of a rant enough. I believe that I have got my value out of Logic Pro. I'm excited for the next year ahead. I've paid my money. I'm done. Hey, Dan Anderson, I'm done. I'm paid up. Everything that comes is a gift. I'm currently working on 2 albums and they're going to be released really soon. And I have another one in the works and Songtember's coming up and I can't wait to make another song for Songtember. Or actually, I think I'm doing an EP for Songtember. And that's exciting to know that I've got Logic at my fingertips and I'm going to be able to send the Logic stems to my dear friend Cold Acre for the Metheist EP we're doing for Songtember, and he can do stuff on his Mac. And we can share stuff from iOS to Mac back and forth, and it's going to be so much easier. So just even that alone, I've got my money's worth. So I'm very happy with my purchase. I'm so happy I've paid for it for another year. I can't wait for what they release. Sure, would I like more things now? Yes, I want everything now. But you know what? You can't have everything now. It's just illogical, right? So there's that. Hey, if you're watching this on the replay and you want to leave some comments, do so. Leave comments down below. Let me know your thoughts. Did you subscribe? Did you unsubscribe? What value have you got? Tell me, put your song down there in the comments and let me check out your songs that you've made, because I'm interested in seeing what people have made with it. Not enough people talk about the stuff they've made and just complain about the stuff. You know, Thomas says definitely worth it for an iOS creator. Yes, 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 indeed. All right, let me tell you. So we mentioned, I'll just quickly tell you what's coming up for the next couple of days. So as you would know, now there's a lot more tutorials I do that will be pre-recorded and will drop just willy-nilly at my whatever. The next one that'll drop will be this, Play Beats, a new Unveil expansion pack. That'll be dropping in maybe about, I don't know, so many hours time. So look out for that. We had a new tutorial drop last night midnight my time. This one, decent sampler, go check it out. It's only 13 minutes. You don't have to sit there for an hour and do all that stuff. Tomorrow I'm working on creating this new song. So come and hang out if you want and hang out with me while I make a new song for an hour before I send everybody over to Thomas, who does You Rock. And this week's interview, who is it with? Well, let me tell you, it's with this guy, Michael, aka Zealand. We are going to take a trip to Zealand with this dude right here. You may have seen him around the traps. We're going to find out who he is this week and play some of his music. And there he is, sitting there all smiley. And look at him. There he is. So Michael, aka Zealand, is coming on the show this week for an interview. All right, let's hit the road. It's time to say the things, do the stuff, and remember, do things that make you happy. Mistakes make you better. We'll all rise together and stay awake. Thank you all for hanging out here in the live chat. Thanks for watching on the replay. Do subscribe, please. And I'll see you soon. Let's Oj.